The results are in. Birds of Prey is bombing at the box office bad. But it is a comic book movie. The budget wasn't super huge. I don't know how much they paid for marketing, so they'll probably end up making some money after the international release. Spoiler alert, though, okay? If for some reason you're a masochist and you want to see a terrible movie that will cause you nothing but pain and you cringe so hard your face will contort, it will hurt, then by all means, turn off this video now because there's going to be a lot of spoilers in this. This movie was a dumpster fire of complete trash. And now it holds the title of the worst opening in the DC universe. And it's really simple why. Now, you've been warned on the spoilers. But Ewan McGregor did everything in his power to make sure nobody would go see this movie come release time by saying but two words. That's all it took. Ewan McGregor said Birds of Prey was a feminist film. And there it was. The hammer had dropped, and many people said, no thank you. Before the movie came out, pre-sale tickets were released. And I checked my local theater, and sure enough, none had been sold. I got the idea because I saw an article saying that pre-sale tickets just weren't selling at any theaters. Cosmic Book News, I think it was, went and looked at a bunch of different theaters in a bunch of different metropolitan areas and found pre-sale tickets just weren't going. I don't know why, because based off the marketing, it's hard to know whether it's going to be good or bad. I will admit, my buddy said that Birds of Prey looked like a straight-to-DVD film, and it really did feel like it. I have no idea how their budget was like $90 million. So the movie was complete trash. And I think the feminist film thing kind of gets at exactly what the problem was. You can make a feminist film. I think a real feminist film would be like Wonder Woman. And what does that mean? Well, you have a woman as a character, very powerful, wanting to end war, standard motivation for any regular human that's generalist. You want to attract a wide audience with a fanciful tale. You must stop the war. Simple. Save the world, right? It's a very simple motivation. However, in the film, they had some of these moments where it was World War I, and, Wonder Woman is like, she's a woman, so they're like, why is a woman in here? Things like that. And those are real things that happened, and we totally get it. And it turns out she's powerful, so it's really, really funny when they, criticize her, and she's actually, basically a demigod. Movie was great. She fights the evil god, and she wins, and the war doesn't end, and comes to a realization. There you go. Birds of Prey, DC film, the worst so far. It was an awful movie. I do not recommend it. The motivation of these characters is basically about how men are bad. I'm not kidding. Harley Quinn's motivation. The Joker broke up with her, and so now she's upset and needs to, find herself. Basically some, chick flick, Eat, Pray, Love, but with violence. Then you have the female cop. Her motivation. She was up for a promotion, but it went to a man who didn't deserve it. Eye roll. How many people actually experience that? I'm sure there's many, but not even most women experience that. Not even a strong majority or a slight majority. It's going to be a slim minority of women who actually experience this. And then make it worse, the cop who's now in charge, who shouldn't have gotten the promotion, gives away her case to a man. Eye roll again. There was a fight scene where Black Canary is getting her hair in her face, so Harley Quinn offers her a hair tie. It's hard to know who this movie was made for, because it's made for children, but rated R. I have no idea what their plan was. The way I described it on my Timcast IRL podcast was basically if somebody dressed up like Harley Quinn and then filmed a bunch of TikTok clips and then edited them all together, you'd be like, is this a movie somehow? But now we get to the best part. Why did the movie fail? Well, it really was the marketing. And I do think it was because Ewan McGregor called it a feminist film. Because how could someone, how could the movie, how could people just know the movie was bad? This is a big problem with movies in general. They say, I remember Pirates of the Caribbean, right? Remember that film? Long time ago. Great movie. I love it. They then did the next film, Dead Man's Chest, and it got a massive opening, weekend or whatever. It made a ton of money. They then said, this proves the movie is good. No. It proves the other movie is good. It proves the original Pirates was a good movie. Dead Man's Chest was pretty bad, in my opinion. I hated it. But now I think about why this movie did bad. First, Suicide Squad did bad. So people already had a rather negative view about what this was going to be. The commercials looked bad, and then they called it a feminist film, and that immediately turned off any hardcore comic book fan Because as you know, the culture war involves a tiny fraction of feminists trying to change comic books, I guess to attract a wider audience, but pissing off the core fan base who actually wants to buy the product. But now we get to the good old fun. I would like to take some personal credit for why this movie did bad, because Friday, my buddy and I did like a 35-minute breakdown of everything we just absolutely found miserable in this film. And I think that video we did has like 100,000 views. So obviously I'm being a bit facetious. I don't think, everyone in the world watched my video, but I think a lot of people probably watched it and said, yeah, I'm definitely not going to see this. Spoiler alert, it's about to get fun. Cosmic Book News reports Trump fans should avoid Birds of Prey. Now, not really. It's kind of a joke. But yeah, let me read. As if one more reason was needed to not see Birds of Prey, which is currently tanking at the box office, the movie takes a jab at President Donald Trump, of course. Spoilers follow. For whatever reason, Aussie actress Margot Robbie, who stars and is a producer on the flick, along with Chinese-American director Kathy Yan, and Warner Brothers, explained the reason the villain of the movie, the gay Black Mask, played by Scottish actor Ewan McGregor, hates and wants to kill Harley Quinn is, get this, because she voted for Bernie Sanders. Now, to be fair, it was one of the motivations. I kid you not. She says the bad guy, because every man in the film is evil. Like, literally every single man. There's one guy who I guess you could argue isn't evil, but he's like a whiny, pathetic dude who gets like 10 seconds of screen time. The movie goes over a list of reasons why various bad guys don't like Harley, who are all after her now that she broke up with the Joker and isn't under his protection. So when Black Mask finds out Harley is no longer under the protection of the Joker, he orders his men to bring Harley to him. When Black Mask confronts Harley, she goes over a list of reasons why the Black Mask hates her and wants to kill her, with one reason being that Black Mask hates the fact that Harley voted for Bernie Sanders. I didn't think you could make a more cringy part of a film. I mean, first of all, the film makes no sense, like straight up. There's nothing that they're doing makes any sense at all. And I was shocked to see many reviews saying the film had a coherent plot because it doesn't. Literally makes no sense. Like, the movie starts with her trying to get a sandwich, and then it ends with her getting the sandwich. I guess it was supposed to be a joke, but it really does feel like, I'm not exaggerating when I say this, someone strung together a bunch of random clips that have nothing to do with each other. Like, there's one scene where a bomb goes through her window and her hyena runs to the bomb. I have no idea why the hyena would do that. And then it blows up. And then she's like, oh no, my hyena, Brucey. And then at the end of the film, the hyena's back and she goes, oh, there he is. It's like, wait, I kid you not. She's like, oh, there he is. He was outside. What? What was the point of the bomb scene? Like, I don't even understand what this movie is. Okay, let's read. The footage doesn't name drop Trump specifically, but obviously it insinuates that Black Mask gets so enraged about Harley voting for Bernie Sanders that he gets to the point of wanting to kill her. So Black Mask must be a Trump supporter. Well, I don't know about that. I think Cosmic Book News is stretching it a little bit. Apparently, they gave a statement to the Wrap where they said it was just like an inside joke, kind of, when they're trying to go over reasons why Black Mask hated her. The first was that she had a vagina. Not kidding. I'm dead serious. So I guess they also made Victor Zsasz gay. I don't know if he was, but apparently like a bunch of LGBTQ community like websites are outraged that they got representation, but as like psychopathic serial killer murderers. They're not happy about it. They ended up not getting like a real heroic character for whatever. I don't know. Look, man, you got to reckon. Oh, you know what? I'm just going to read this. What's odd is that the previous Suicide Squad movie showed Harley Quinn in jail. So I suppose we have to guess that Harley wasn't in jail yet when she voted for Bernie Sanders in the 2016 presidential primary. Harley Quinn isn't known for being political in the comics, as far as I know, so this all comes off a bit forced and odd. Worth a mention is that while promoting the movie in the interviews, Ewan McGregor, who has been accused of cheating on his wife with Birds of Prey co-star Mary Elizabeth Winstead, whoa, really? That's crazy, has said Black Mask and the movie is all about misogyny and being a feminist film. Oh, cringe. There's like a scene where for no reason, he tells a woman, like he forces her to get on a table and like forces a guy to rip her dress off with a knife. It's just so cartoon. Like it's not even fair to call it cartoon villain-esque because cartoon villains are silly and chaotic. This guy was just motivationless. And then they do this really annoying thing where Harley's like, you're not really that complex. I know your motivation. And then she basically just outlines it. And I'm like, Are you really playing it that way? Like, instead of giving the character a real motivation, explaining Black Mask in any capacity, they literally just have Harley Quinn go, here's what you're really doing. And then he goes, oh, you figured me out. And I'm like, you can't just tell the audience. Could you imagine if like all movies were like that? Where it's like Batman shows up and the villain goes, so you're seeking revenge against crime, an intangible concept because a man took out your parents and you went on a training mission and became very strong to fight for to fight the injustice and fight for the weak. Ha! You're so predictable, Batman. It's kind of like, okay, you literally just tell the audience with dialogue instead of just showing the story. That's the reason we go to movies, to watch a thing, right? To watch. Could you imagine if you went to the movies and it was this, like you're watching now? Like, imagine if Birds of Prey was, they show the screen and there's a face in the corner going, so basically Harley Quinn is like, 1, 2, and it's just like explaining everything. I kid you not. They actually do that in the beginning of the movie. Not with the face in the corner, but it opens with her just telling her life story and explaining where she is. And it's the weirdest, cringiest thing. Because, I mean, I don't know what their problem is. They really wanted to do like a female or like a DC Deadpool. If they didn't make it feminist, they could have had their Deadpool. Was Deadpool a film? I gotta admit, it really is trying to be Deadpool. Because it starts with Deadpool doing his thing. Then he goes back and explains how he became Deadpool. They literally do the same thing in this movie. The problem is the weird, cringy motivations that make no sense, including I voted for Bernie. So I'll wrap this up. The movie flopped. You hate to see it, right? Whatever. I'm not surprised it flopped. I'm not surprised it'll flop again. And the next movie that comes out trying to do this will flop. Why don't you make more Shazam, DC? Okay. Anyway, stick around. Next segment's coming up tomorrow at 10 a.m. Podcast every day at 6:30 p.m. And I will see you all then.